Welcome, everyone, to Energy Medicine, a Doc of Detox show. I'm Dr. Darrell Wolfe, and my co-host for today is Dr. Marcel Wolff. Today's topic is called Healing with Light, the Bioptron way. Now, before we start, I would like to let everyone know that if you can't watch our shows live, you can go to docofdetoxshow.com or to our Doc of Detox YouTube channel. On our YouTube channel, you have the option of using closed caption, where the spoken words will come up on the screen in the language of your choice. You heard what I said. So if you have somebody from anywhere around the world, they can actually put this in their language, and they can slow it up to as slow as they want so that they can also participate in our Doc of Detox shows. Okay? So yes, we've gone global. Now, before we start and I bring on Dr. Marcel Wolff, I just want to say something. This show is about healing with light. And wouldn't you know it, we have entered the dark ages. Now, you're going to go, are you kidding? What's he talking about, the dark ages? Well, just know this, that 98% of most technology is actually killing us. It's making us sick. Okay? So understand something, that there's two things you need to know, okay? A technology breakthrough doesn't mean a health breakthrough, okay? A medical breakthrough does not mean a health breakthrough. A scientific breakthrough does not mean a health breakthrough. So understand something. 95 to 98% of all these breakthroughs are not breakthroughs. They're breaking you apart. They're breaking you apart on an emotional, physical, and spiritual level. So you have to be really particular and understand something, that not all technology is your friend. It is your frenemy. You bring it into your home. You bring it into your life. It's tearing you apart, right down to the mitochondria. It's actually changing your frequency, because as I've said before, we are light energy frequency beings. We are 99.9%, okay, energy, frequency, and light. This physical body you're taking a look at only comprises maybe 1%. That's right. And if you can't wrap your head around this, then you are missing out on the biggest part of you, the part of you that can actually change your life, make your life, shape your life, and create and make your dreams come true, to make your dreams a reality. So when you understand that you are a light energy being and that frequency matters, and that 98% of all the frequencies that mankind is creating are not healthy for us. So what do we need to do? We need to embrace, okay, the future, and the future's here. As Einstein stated, energy medicine will be our future. And today we're going to be talking about Bioptron, which is the cutting edge of light therapy on this planet. And wait a minute, it's been the cutting edge of light therapy for 30 years. Are you getting this? It's been around for 30 years. And now we're just getting it out to you. But understand something. You need to bring that light into your home, into your heart, and into every cell of your body, because that is the main food for your cells. No matter if you're talking about the things that you drink, the things that you eat, the people you hang around with, the thoughts you have, it's all about lightening up. And yes, we are in the dark ages. And until you understand and you experience the authentic real you, what you're really made out of, and what it really takes to have that exciting adventure on this planet, you will be in the dark ages. So today, we want you to switch on the light within inside yourself, but we want to utilize Bioptron, and we want to utilize colors and frequency and everything else to show you that you are a musical instrument. So I'd like to bring on my host, Dr. Marcel Wolff. Good day.
Thank you very much, Darrell. It's great to be here again, to be able to share this information with people. And hopefully by the end of this presentation, they'll understand why it is a priority. And it needs to be a priority for everyone. And as soon as it is, it's going to improve their lives beyond what they actually thought was possible.
Yeah, but okay, that's fine. So most people out there are just hearing this for the first time. Most people believe that Dr. Wolff, I don't know how we're going to do this one, Dr. Wolff.
Marcel's fine.
Okay, Marcel. Most people, Marcel, believe that the sun is even harmful. Okay, so we've got people so brainwashed that they believe the sun is harmful, and then they're using sun protectors that are actually causing the cancer. So let me ask you a question. So I want to know why focus on light. Why should the focus be on light today? And how are you going to make somebody understand that the focus should be on light?
The short answer is we are not just electromagnetic energy beings. Actually, we need electromagnetic energy. We can't exist for 1 second without it. But this is a more sophisticated form of electromagnetic energy that comes with specific information of a higher energy form that falls in the category of light. Light is a lot more profound, and the whole reason why is because, as I said earlier, and I'm going to show you quickly here with a single image that basically shows us the DNA, the twisted ladder we call the perfect antenna for picking up frequency. When we actually cut one of the cables of that ladder, like a fiber optic cable, it reveals 4 billion epigenetic light switches in one single strand of human DNA. This is probably for me anyways, the most single telling image of what we really are at our microscopic essence. So beyond the cell, beyond the DNA, this is a microscopic um, image of cross-section of human DNA, and this is what it looks like.
So yeah, and isn't there like around 4 billion people on planet Earth? So there's just as many switches in that DNA as there is people on Earth. And so you're saying that our DNA gives off light. So it actually, our DNA must run by light. That must be what its food source is too, correct?
Yes, actually, the 100,000 biochemical functions that every one of your 75 to 100 trillion cells requires light to activate that biochemical reactions. So we're very, very dependent. We have evolved and adapted to, and now are very dependent upon light. The problem, as you were saying earlier, is that we're getting the wrong light. So we can go down, with all the other things that we need to do to be healthy, the right water, the right air, the right food. And it just so happens the right food has the most light. The water, the best light, water, excuse me, has the most light. And so we see light as being the acid test in terms of integrity of these things that we want to consume or create our environment with. Natural light, um, sad to say, for the most part, is not contributing to our health. It's actually taking away from it. And we'll talk a little bit about that as this presentation goes on.
Okay, so if I can step back just one little bit, okay? So this is the big one, isn't it? And everybody knows this one. Chemical reactions happen in the body at the speed of light. Whoa. Well, that's because guess what? They're powered by the speed of light.
Yes. And the thing is that, light has sort of been in front of our faces the whole time. It, throughout history, has helped civilization move forward. But just like a lot of relationships today, in our fast-paced world, we take for granted, and this is one that we definitely shouldn't be taking granted because it is so profound, and it's so non-invasive, and yeah, it's we're seeing things that we never thought were possible. Whether it's a diabetic ulcer that hadn't healed in 39 years, heals approximately 5 to 6 months with next to no scar. So just to give you an example, here in Ontario alone, we have approximately 2,400 amputations that happen every year due to diabetic ulcers not healing. And that really doesn't need to happen if we utilize a technology, like you said earlier, that's been around for over 30 years in Europe, used in hospitals, both cancer and anti-aging, by medical doctors, taught in universities. And actually, a lot of people find it hard to believe, because they picture North America as being the lead in terms of medical health care. And so when they find out about this light and all these claims, they just find it hard to believe that we don't have it and we're actually last on the planet to have it.
Well, if I can say something, you know what? Until you start traveling around the world, you'll understand that you've been sold the wrong bill of goods with many things. Oh, like we have the best healthcare in the world, which is not true. Which means we have a lot of the best everything in the world, which is not true. You know, we everybody lives in this little tight bubble, this little tight box. You know, Marcel, that we do a lot of work with doing Wolff deep tissue and non-surgical, Wolff non-surgical, and we have a claim that we guarantee that if you come to us, that you won't have to go to surgery. Now that's 99.9% of the cases, not all of them, but understand something. All these amputees that are happening from chronic disease, all these surgeries that are happening that are even creating more scar tissue in a person, you know, they should be the last result, because we should be looking to natural health and using the science of natural health of nature to actually heal the body. I mean, you have to understand something, everyone, and please, you can take it like it is, but the medical system is so programmed by the pharmaceutical system. They're not out for your benefit or your good. If they can get you doing drugs for 50 years and then start taking pieces of your body away every couple of years, that's going to happen. And that's not because they're bad. It's because that's their program. You can't come from, you're not going to go to them and find out what type of organic food to eat, how to detoxify, what foods have the most light, what water holds the most light, how to lighten up, how to feed that body. That's not their job. Their job is for, the medical system is there for people who want drugs and for people who will opt to surgery instead of taking personal care responsibility for themselves. And I'm not saying you don't want to do that, but the thing is that our subconscious rules us and fools us unless we're willing to understand that we've got to take our health back. And Marcel, if I can bring it back, even when the sperm goes into the cell, it also is, can you tell people about that?
Yeah, so as of 2016, June 2016, we now have technology that actually can see what the naked eye can't see. So the moment that the sperm touches the egg, there's a flash, a spark of light, and it's called the zinc spark. They're now using this as a test to find out what are the healthiest eggs for that female in terms of trying to be pregnant. So we now know that life begins with light. And we also have something called the gas visualization discharge unit, which captures the light image leaving the body at the point of death. So we now know that life begins with light, ends with light. And as Einstein said, energy never disappears, it just changes form. So our soul, our essence, and as the image we showed you earlier, at our core, we are light beings. We're not simply chemical. We're not simply just electromagnetic. We are specifically light energy beings, and light is electromagnetic, but it comes with a lot more information that's able to do these things that we never thought were possible.
And take a look at all the spiritual leaders that have been on this planet over the centuries, and if you look at pictures of them, you will see that they all have this aura of light around them. Well, I've got a big surprise for you, and that is guess what? You have that same light. Now, would you like to learn how to turn on that light and become a bright light that helps to guide your family out of the dark ages, which I'm calling the age of technology and contamination, corruption, because that's where we are right now. So understand something. Those same spiritual leaders, those pictures that you see, that light aura, you have it too. But you have to know how to harness Mother Nature and bring her into your city, into your home, into your life. When you detach yourself from nature, then you detach yourself from a life of happiness and health. So Marcel, my question is to you, isn't our exposure to natural light enough? And are we able to get enough of that? And how would we do it?
Well, going back to nature, that's what we need to do. Actually, it's been scientifically recognized that we are actually nature deficient. And it's affecting us in so many ways that people have, no idea. And so it's up to us to educate people, and that's actually what we're talking about religious leaders, the Dalai Lama, and also, of course, people know also Nelson Mandela. They expressed that yes, prayer is important, and prayer actually can be measured. It creates 8 cycles, 8 hertz, which so happens to be exactly what the heart needs, is 8 cycles per second when it's healthy. Which I should also say at this point that the heart actually exudes the largest electromagnetic energy field from the human body. So all of this, and it's actually a quote from Einstein, who said basically that, science without religion, religion without science are lame. So now we have actually what people have had blind faith in for over 5,000 years is being proven by science, that we are light beings. And so even growing up, we heard, come into the light, be part of the light, God is light, and so on and so forth. It's literally been in front of our faces the entire time, but we just didn't have the appreciation that is needed, especially right now. So, yeah,
But
we
wouldn't you?
need the sun.
But
The
Marcel,
sun. Yep. Go ahead.
I was going to say, but wouldn't you say that it's not that we didn't have appreciation for it? Okay, it was depreciated by those people we trust to teach us on how to use our God-given abilities and qualities, okay, and the essence of who we really are. That was actually hidden from us. Come on, that was
Yeah.
hidden from us, from even from religious leaders, the government. I'm not going to get into it, but let's put it this way. You know what? If we were meant to have it, we would have had it, but they didn't want us to have it because that is where our power lies. That's where the power of creation and creating the life that you told you could have, and the health you told you could have, and the abundance that you told you could have. That's where all that was lying.
So we have basically today too much information,
Yeah.
and it's up to us to discern what is right and what is wrong. I always tell people to use nature as their guide. And, so we literally have still to this day a number of cultures that are running around pretty much butt naked 24/7, 365 days of the year with no skin cancer, not one case. But, Darrell, when we were doing the Wolf Clinic here in Toronto, we'd have cultures and we'd, make conversation and say, how are you doing? How long have you been in Canada, from Greece, from Africa, etc. So they had material things, but their health was actually declined. So I understand we're not going to go back into caves and living in trees, but we need to do things mindfully. So whether it's the sun or whether it's a cell phone, we need to use it mindfully. And that information that we needed to have, like the cell phone, didn't come to us, before the cell phone. So as a result, a number of people being ignorant, not their choice, had to suffer. And but for a person, individual, and for their family, the sooner that they can take the time to educate themselves, the better off they're going to be and their family.
Yeah. So I think the first thing that we always need to ask ourselves is, when you buy something from a company, a corporation, a person, you need to find out what their intention is, okay? What their mission is, what their motive is, okay? And understand something. Corporations, they have no beating heart, they have no blood, they have no feelings, they have a bottom line. So understand something. When you buy from a corporation, you're going to have to learn how to protect yourself, because we could have created cell phones that were healing for us. We could have created light bulbs and electricity in our homes that were healing for us. But everybody takes a shortcut because it's bottom line. But there is technology out there, and we're going to be talking about it today, and that's the Bioptron. I mean, come on. There is no other device on this planet that in just 2 minutes twice a day increases the microcirculation of the body by 47%. And your microcirculation makes up 74% of your body. And to have an arterial or a problem in your arteries or in your veins means that your microcirculation is already cemented. And that's what we need to do. We need to turn that back on. But Marcel, I want to ask you a question. What do you mean by saying the tide is turning for the recognition of light in medicine?
Yeah, so we have a couple of really good examples. We have the Princess Margaret Hospital who a number of months ago announced that by December of this year, 2018, they're going to start using light and heat for cancer. And then on top of that, we have the Canadian Cancer Society itself recognizing the flow of energy in the body. And they basically say that when this flow of energy is in balance, you have no physical, mental, emotional, or spiritual problems. Now, this is an organization that not so long ago had difficulty actually using the word prevention in its true meaning. Now they're actually talking about the flow of energy and actually spirituality. That's that's a huge about face, and I'm glad that they're finally on the right page.
Marcel,
And then we got pharmaceutical companies. Pfizer actually just shut down an entire division of 300 scientists looking for a cure for Alzheimer's and dementia. But what's happening now, due to access to information with regards to the internet, people are finding out from a doctor who actually helped her husband reverse the dementia using something as complicated as coconut oil, 2 tablespoons twice a day. And then we know, of course, lemon juice having the highest plant source of lithium, helping people even at 80 reverse dementia. So things are changing quickly. And for a lot of people, they're not hearing this information. And so, this is part of our job.
So what you need to do, everybody out there, and I mean this in the nicest way, is mind your own business. Take your health personal. Bring it home. And then become that Braveheart for your family. If nobody, instead of watching TV, instead of doing things that society deems you that it's okay to do, we need to take our lives back. We need to take control. And that's what you'll be able to do when you start working with something like the Bioptron that affects the body on all levels, physically, emotionally, and yes, spiritually, because spiritually that's what we are as light beings. Marcel, can you, how does the Bioptron polarized light restore the flow of energy in the human body?
So like we said earlier, 30 years, it's actually the technology that we have today as a result of 113 years, 15 scientists and physicists, 5 Nobel Prize, including the last one, which was C60, carbon 60, which is also known as fluorine. And also, I'm sure some people out there are familiar with Buckminster Fuller. He had the buckyball, which is actually a toy for children, but this is the actual structure of C60. And so we now have all this information and all this experience over 30 years. The Bioptron light is polarized. And so in order to polarize it, we say that the best technologies are those that best mimic nature. And I'll bring up a quote from Victor Schomburger, who said basically that the best that man can do is to comprehend, copy, and cooperate with nature. Anything else is an exercise in futility or at best a learning experience. So they have actually done the best job at copying these incredible healing aspects of light. They used actually 5 mirrors to polarize it. So it's a full spectrum halogen light that actually runs for approximately 2,000 hours, and it's approximately $40 to replace. And so with these mirrors,
so it's only $40 to replace the bulb. So the maintenance on this light and the expense down the road is minimal.
It's negligible, and we use it on plants, we use it on animals. Normally, if I'm sitting at my usual desk, I can have the Bioptron light shining on me, and it has to be bare skin. It's not going to go through clothes like pulsating electromagnetic energy field technology. And something I wanted to mention at this point, we utilize pulsating electromagnetic energy field technology, and we utilize these other things, whether it's coconut or turmeric or cayenne or lemon or whatever. We never recommend just one thing, but under the tool chest of holistic tools, I have to say that the Bioptron light is the single most powerful tool that we've ever seen for enhancing the body's ability to naturally heal itself. And So polarization actually occurs in nature. When you see that rainbow after a rain, the water molecules act as prisms, and it actually splits that full spectrum light into its separate color components, and that's how we see the rainbow. So we're creating that sort of energy enhanced with these mirrors. And then along with that, it's polychromatic. That means that it has all of the colors of that rainbow, the 7 colors. And it's also low energy. We don't need to burn through steel or flesh. And so it just needs to be gentle. And most of the energies of the body are gentle. And so it's also incoherent light. And what does that mean? Well, if you can actually picture my 2 hands, all right, one being on top of the other, this is one wave and this is another wave. In order to have coherent light, they're all in sequence, one on top of the other, identically on top of each other. That gives the strength and intensity for a laser, for instance, to burn through flesh or steel. And so we actually want incoherent, which is what is in all of nature. There's no light that's actually coherent. The man-made lasers are the only ones that are coherent. And so that incoherent light, being safe and non-toxic, is I have to say, is probably the easiest, simplest thing to actually do daily out of everything that we've ever seen. We all know about rebounding and juicing and all these things. This you can actually do while you're on a computer, while you're reading a book, while you're on the phone. I utilize it in the morning and also in the evening. 1 8-minute exposure, actually, the benefits will last in your body 14 to 24 hours. Now, with pulsating electromagnetic energy field technology, an 8-minute session will last anywhere from 4 to 12 hours. So I was really pleased when Zepter, the company, got back to me. They told me about this microcirculation, which I was very familiar with regards to, other things like PEMF. And we know that one PEMF technology increases microcirculation by 30%, which is profound. 1/3. And I urge all of you to understand thoroughly what it means to increase microcirculation. So basically, in simple terms, it's the cardiovascular system that is 76% of the blood flow, which takes place in the capillaries and the blood vessels. The other 24% is in the veins and the arteries. They're like the superhighways for the blood flow system in the human body. But most of the work actually takes place, the delivery of oxygen, delivery of nutrients, the outtake of waste. The real work, right, is handled in, let's say, the suburbs of the human body, in the small streets and arteries. By increasing that by 30% is incredible. So when they said that this technology increased the microcirculation about 3 years ago, first question was, well, by how much, right? And so I was really happy to hear, and it made sense that it wasn't 30, it wasn't 15, it was 47%. And now with the new hyperpolarized lens, that's my next question that needs to be answered. I believe that there's potential to even enhance it even more so. So, it's a pretty exciting thing to be in. For me, it's actually, I have to spend time in light because it requires it, and it also, is the most worthy way of spending our time.
And
so,
not just,
as one doctor says, we need more light gurus. And so anyone that gets into this field is going to see just how incredible, how exciting it is, and will be more excited about spirituality, more excited about natural and all these things, because it's really time now. And as one of the books that we have here actually recommends the Bioptron light, which is pretty cool. This book, actually, I have a friend of mine who teaches frequency matrix therapy. I showed it to her and she said, I want it yesterday. In it, actually, on page 95, it actually recommends, the Bioptron light itself.
Okay,
So,
Marcel, and if I can,
yeah.
I'd like to just share my bit of experience, and that is this: is that the Bioptron, of all the equipment that I've ever used, I pretty well test and use everything that comes on the market. A lot of people talk about hyperbaric chamber. Well, this Bioptron light will outwork the hyperbaric chamber for the circulation it will do and the healing effects it will do. It's
And
so
if you have a
simple.
hyperbaric chamber, it'll actually enhance it. This literally enhances every single thing that you do, whether it's
Yep.
taking a drug, whether it's doing PEMF, whether it's taking nutrition, whether it's doing yoga. This is truly the greatest enhancer of moving your health forward that we've ever seen.
And not just that, but when it comes to moods, when it comes to depression, when it comes to anxiety, when it comes to being exhausted, all you got to do is just sit back. Lori and I, we have two chairs like the beach chairs. We just sit there in the morning and we just soak up that light. And you know what? It'll put a smile on your face. It'll create all those happy molecules. It'll get your dopamine going. It'll get your serotonin going. You know, and especially in the wintertime, but you always want to use it all year round. And understand something. We have used all types of energy medicine devices, and this is the one that we have found that outshines others, and you can't beat it even for price point. You won't find another device that has such a great price point to be able to buy when you compare it to other energy medicine devices. And the thing is that we completely train you, and anybody that buys a Bioptron from us, we will do what we call a perfect day consultation, and we'll go through your diet, your nutrition, your home. We want to make sure that if you're going to spend the money and you want to go the distance because this enhances everything, we're going to do a consultation for you. And we also have a booklet that's called A to Z that tells you all the protocols to use in different types of symptoms and conditions in your body that will guide you through this. So it really is an all-around enhancement to anything else you want to do. Marcel?
Yeah, I actually have some of my friends behind me here. Hopefully you can see this. So this is actually the 15 centimeter lens. This is the clinical version. This is actually $15,000. It doesn't actually come with the colored lenses. We're hoping that they will do that in the future because color therapy just basically, even though we have all the colors in the full spectrum light, it actually just speeds up the process. So each color has its own specific frequency and it's actually good for specific things. Green, for instance, is for regeneration. It also helps to repair DNA. The actual frequency is similar to that frequency required for repairing DNA. Blue, of course, is calming. Red is stimulation, and so on. So, you know, when you actually get this technology, of course, all that information comes to you. Then this smaller unit that I have here, and I'm actually shining
Marcel,
it on my water.
Marcel, yeah? Can I ask a question? You quoted 15,000. Now, is that Canadian dollars?
For those people in the United States, they'll be happy to hear that it's in Canadian dollars.
That's right. So we're looking at around 25 to 30% difference when you if you buy in American dollars. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and then we jump to the other extreme end. This is actually the portable Medall, and yeah, I mean it literally is about the size, as you can see, about a hand held hair dryer, and I'm actually using it here to shine on my water. So everything that we drink and eat goes under the light for at least 4 minutes. The things that are able to receive and store light energy are chlorophyll, of course. And actually chlorophyll has the ability to reabsorb radiation and neutralize it. And that's why we want to make sure that if we're enjoying all the benefits of the sun, to make sure that we're doing high chlorophyll foods. And then, of course, water. Perfect example. And we are a bag of water, could be clean, could be dirty. But water has the ability to uptake the light energy and then store it when required by the cells. And then, of course, we have melanin in our eyes and in our skin. also has the ability to uptake light energy and to store it. And so the Medall is a great little unit because it's portable. A little hard to take this one or the other one here.
Well, how much
This
is the
is
Medall?
actually the most popular one.
How much is the
This
Medall,
one is
Marcel?
what was that?
How much is the Medall?
Yeah, so the Medall is around 1,500 Canadian. Okay, and the more popular. This is actually probably the most popular unit. This has a 11 centimeter lens. Just pop it out. This is how difficult it is to change the lenses. And this is actually the hyperpolarized. This is the incredible technology. You can imagine all this information is in this lens. It's solfeggio, Fibonacci, C60, Tesla toroidal, and it's considered as the highest organizing waveform known to nature, something called perfection. We can certainly use a little bit of that today. So that's the 11 centimeter lens. This is the 5 centimeter with the Medall, and this is the 15 centimeter lens with the Pro 2, the clinical version.
And how much is the main selling one that pretty well everybody buys for their homes and clinics?
Yeah, if we're including, of course, the floor stand, which is necessary. It comes with a table stand, but you can't exactly treat your hip or get your body under it. The best circumstance is to buy one of these units and then get a massage table, and it'll go underneath the massage table. And then with the floor stand, you could be sitting in a chair. As long as that chair isn't to the ground, you can slip the floor stand underneath the chair and be treating yourself, like I said earlier, while you're reading a book, watching TV, on the phone, etc., or working on a computer. And so, the Bioptron 1, the most popular unit, is if you're going to get the floor stand, the colored lenses, and also the hyperpolarized lens, you're looking at around, with tax Canadian, of course, 4,500, right? So the minimum you want to do is get yourself, of course, the light. You're going to need that along with the portable stand and at least the hyperpolarized lens. And if money is an issue, you can always get the colored lenses for the Pro 1 a little later on down the road. It's approximately $700 for the colored lenses, both for the Medall and for the Pro 1. So as you just saw, the lenses slip on and off quite easily. And you just want to make sure that it's flush against the body of the unit. So you don't want to be on an angle. And that's, I actually need two hands to do this.
And if I can also reiterate, just so everybody knows, if you're buying outside, because these units actually come from Canada and through way of Switzerland, but if you're in the United States, you're not going to be charged tax, and then you're going to have 25 to 30% cheaper because your dollar is stronger. And understand, everybody who's in Canada, the price might be a little less if you're in Alberta, where you don't have PST, or like in British Columbia, where we only, where if you're buying from us and you're out of province, okay, and you don't have amalgamated tax. So it varies. And remember something, anytime you buy a Bioptron from us, you get lifetime support. You get, like I said, we'll do a perfect day consultation with you. We'll do the training on the Bioptron with you. You'll get the booklet from A to Z, and we're going to be there to support you with this tool. Okay? All right, so.
Yeah, and so it's Health Canada approved back in 2006. So, it's, not something that was invented in somebody's garage or basement somewhere.
It's used it's also used by hundreds of hospitals for pre and post-op in Europe. And right, Marcel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's been used for over 30 years, both in cancer and anti-aging clinics, by medical doctors, and taught in universities. And as of 2010, the amount of energy that's being put into the studies in terms of light, and I mean, Since 1903, I think it was, Niels Ryberg Fenson. He was actually one of the first people, and he won a Nobel Prize. He was the first of the five that it took to get this technology where it is today. So the company actually, before they even came into Canada, back in 2006, they had it Health Canada approved for both pain and wound healing. Now in Europe, they have a more profound understanding of light and all frequency technologies, and so they're able to make more claims. But just understand that it doesn't matter what name or label you put to your present health challenge. This technology will enhance your body's ability to heal itself better than anything we've ever seen, and it will work, whether it's depression or addiction or diabetes or you name it. When you're improving cell functionality and you're increasing microcirculation and you're alkalizing biological fluids, increasing the oxygen by 10 to 20%, and doing all these incredible, amazing things that this light does, you're going to be very happy. But as Darrell was saying, we want to make sure that you understand and utilize it to its full potential.
Yeah, and we will.
Because
And I was, if I can say, we'll make sure that you do that and understand something too that Marcel hasn't mentioned yet. What is the best way to combat EMF? Well, we just told you, the Bioptron light, because everything is about light, everything is about frequency. So you need to fill yourself up, and a higher vibrational frequency will erase the negative frequencies within the body. So you can utilize this to actually remove the effects of EMF in your body. And for those of you that are in United States, just so that you know, we have a warehouse there, so we can actually drop ship right from the States, and you still won't be paying the tax, okay, because you're buying out of country.
yeah. So with this light, as Darrell was saying, with regards to electromagnetic energy fields, the negative aspect of frequencies, you're going to reboot, reset your cells. And of course, to put it in simple terms, your battery, your cells are like batteries. And, as I said earlier, one charge, 8 minutes the benefits will be lasting for 14 to 24 hours. And so, we're being exposed to all this stuff, Wi-Fi, now 5 gig. And of course, people don't, I ask this question almost on a daily basis to people. I'll say, well, that the heart likes 8 cycles per second, 8 hertz. Take a guess at what Wi-Fi is in terms of frequency. And they'll say, 100, whatever. And I'll say, remember that a gig is a billion cycles per second. And now we're talking about 5 gigs, 5 billion cycles per second. So can you see, the extreme difference between 8 and 5 billion? It's not something we're ever going to adapt to.
Nope.
And over time, you could be the healthiest person on the planet. And it's actually one of the reasons why, I got really focused on the whole frequency thing, is because our father actually slept with an electric blanket. We told him not to. And he said they wouldn't sell it if it wasn't safe. And of course, we told him that even at that time, we understood that this form of energy, so close in proximity to the body, was not conducive to his health. And so anyways, over time, he actually acquired acute leukemia, and that's how he passed. Go ahead, Darrell.
Yeah, but with energy medicine, whether people want to believe this or not, my father came to us and we actually turned his leukemia around in 3 weeks. So understand something, the power of nature, the power of the mind, and the power of love, when it all comes together, in the power of light. And that's what it's really all about. Whether you're talking about the heart, nature, food, water, supplements, it's all about how much light is in there. We actually turned my father around in 3 weeks. When we picked him up when he had the leukemia, he was in a wheelchair. He had cold sores on his lips. His skin was yellow. His eyes were yellow. His head was bent over, and you could see he knew he was dying. And 3 weeks. So you can go to the bank with that one and understand something. Never give up on yourself. Never forget who you are. You are a light energy being, and you haven't even started to shine on yet. And that's why we have all these. That's why we have docofdetoxshow.com. That's why we allow you to call us as often as you desire. We have all these trainings. That's why we give you free consultation when you buy this, because if you're willing to invest into yourself, we're willing to invest into you. And understand something. It's about looking after each other. And you know what? If you don't want to buy something to offset all the negative effects, then, don't ask yourself why your family's falling apart on an emotional and physical level. That's it right there. Your money goes somewhere. When this becomes a priority, I hope it becomes a priority before you get yourself into big trouble, because everybody's going down big trouble lane now. Marcel, I want you to talk about the effects of blue light and tell people where blue light is, because people do not understand about blue light, how before blue light came, we didn't have the cataracts, the glaucoma, the macular degeneration, the so bad with autism, anxiety. Just so much is going on now, and people just take this as normal.
Blue light fits in my category, what we call wrong light exposure. Even in nature, for example, nature always balances blue light with red light. And so basically what's happened, like you said earlier, technology advancements don't always mean advancements into health. And this is a classic example. Now, they could have actually produced all these technologies with healthier light. I mean, these are actually engineers that are putting this together, but, we won't go there. So basically, we've got some information now linking. So far, what we know about blue light, it's connected to the following: depression, sleep disturbance, potential cataracts, learning difficulties, increased risk of obesity, raises blood glucose, causes insulin resistance, destroys DHA and cell membranes. If that isn't enough, next day, decrease in memory function, increase in the risk of breast and prostate cancer. And this is actually from an actual Harvard Health publications. So
understand.
Not good news.
Yeah. So you know what? I'm going to tell you something. We're going to switch topics just a teeny bit. We're going to deviate just for a second. Everybody out there knows how I feel about the emotional body. All right. And understand something. Your subconscious is running you. It's 90% of your brain. I mean, who in their right mind would not embrace a life of healing and light and trying to create the perfect day for themselves? Well, that person who has never learned how to love themselves or to invest into themselves, that person who always looks outside themselves for someone to save them. Well, nobody's coming for you. You need to turn on your light. You need to go inward and turn on the light. Okay? Marcel, if you don't mind, you were talking earlier, and I'd like you to maybe go in a little bit into this. What do you mean when you said that light organizes life with energy and information? I would like people to understand that a little bit more before we go further.
So, yeah, when I first read this, it was like, okay, that sounds good, whatever. But when you actually see it, and we actually have, which hopefully you'll be able to make available to folks, ginger lily plant cells in a petri dish under a microscope. Of course, we can't see it with the naked eye, but with technology we can. And you can see the random firing of light energy amongst the cells. And then what we did is we actually exposed it to the Bioptron full spectrum light for 8 minutes. And what you see then is, for me, it's a wow moment, because it literally is like the most highly organized form of light that you've ever seen. It looks like some kind of mechanistic strobe put together by some alien. To take it from random firing light energy and then into this highly organized form of energy is pretty incredible. And so basically that's what this technology is doing to all of the cells in the body. Now, something which is really interesting is that even during presentations, we'll have people, have 8 minutes at least, so they can experience what it feels like. And so in a couple of the presentations, we actually had people speak up, even just after 4 minutes of being exposed to the light, and say things such as, is it possible I actually feel activity in my kidneys while shining it on her face? We find out later that that particular person had a kidney bag on each hip and hadn't urinated naturally in a year and a half. We recommend that she come back for another session the following day. She does. That night she calls us and says, I'm peeing for the first time in a year and a half after 2 light sessions. People that have bad hips, bad knees, even while shining it on their face. So what we're doing is we're working with the body's superior innate intelligence. And of course, we're working with an energy that travels at light speed. And the body will dictate where that energy is required or needed most. So you may want to say, I want to get rid of this little wrinkle right here. Well, it actually will work on it eventually, but the body says, no, at this time, we have a priority. You don't realize it, but your liver needs this light energy. So it's a very sophisticated form of energy. I love pulsating electromagnetic energy field technology, and we use it in conjunction. It's what we refer to as frequency matrix therapy. So we look at all things, whether it's clothing, such as this is linen, and it has the highest energy of any material that you can wear, to PEMF, to light therapy, to food having the most light, which is actually now the acid test for the food industry. They're using something called the photomultiplier. It's able to actually see again light that we can't see with the naked eye, light energy. And so they're not asking whether it's GMO, factory raised, ideal soil conditions, because that apple, that egg that has the most light is the one that they want. And actually, I did an experiment, and I've been doing an experiment for the last 3 years using the light on our food and our beverages. And I'm actually part of a documentary called The Healing Fields, working with a friend of mine, Bob Conley, using his actually technology. He has what we call a Krillin field photography camera. It's $26,000. So not everyone is going to be able to justify that kind of an expenditure or has one in their back pocket. Not something you'll find at Radio Shack, at least not quite yet. But anyways, using his technology, we did a before and after of an organic carrot. And that's hopefully something that Darrell will be able to, and his team will be able to share with you. That it was another aha moment for me. And it just confirmed that what I was doing for the last 2.5, 3 years was worthy of our time and energy, exposing our food and our liquids to this form of comprehensive light energy.
Marcel, could you please just walk through and explain what you did with the carrot, slide by picture by picture?
Yeah.
Okay.
So what we did is we took a before shot. Okay, so we have the organic carrot under the Krillin field photography. It's a completely darked out environment, and it's a light technology that's able to actually picture and read the light energy coming from living things. You can see the light energy around the core and also around the perimeter of the carrot. Then what we did is I hit it with 8 minutes. It actually enhanced the aura. Then we put it into a microwave and literally killed it. And you'll see there's next to no light left in it at all. Then we exposed it again to the full spectrum. That was even before the hyperpolarized lens, which I want to go back and do the same test and see if we can actually see a difference with the full spectrum and the hyperpolarized. We exposed it to 8 minutes, and it actually brought it back to life. Its aura is actually even bigger than what it started out as. So I was going to call it the Jesus carrot, and I thought, no, I probably better not. I'll just call it the resurrection carrot. And so we brought it back to life using the full spectrum polarized light. And that was another real aha moment for us.
Very good. All right, so this is how it goes. If you take a look at the way and the road we're going down right now, the majority of the population has forgotten that the body will heal from anything when you give it its true nourishment. That would be light. We already know that. We already know it's about the light in the water, the food, the nutrition, the light in the people you hang around with. So we've forgotten that. And the reason why we've forgotten that, we've been programmed to forget that the body will heal itself if we give it what it needs. Oh, the body's not intelligent to heal itself. And you are definitely not intelligent to heal yourself. only the almighty practitioner like myself can do that for you. That's not true. That's not true. Practitioners are there to guide. Doctor means to teach. Doctor does not mean to prescribe. Doctor means to teach. You need to train yourself to become your own practitioner. You need to bring it home. And so what Bioptron has done is it's harnessed the most powerful part of nature. And that's something that you can utilize day in and day out whenever you want. You can bring out the most powerful healing tool. So there's two things. Let's get nature back into our life, and let's understand something. We are the masters of our life, and our body will heal itself. And let's get rid of the almighty practitioner, okay? Because the almighty has given us the power to heal, and it's inside of us. Now, I'd like to try to change directions here just a little bit. You've mentioned PEMF a few times, Marcel. Can you just explain lightly about PEMF and and then give a difference between the PEMF and the Bioptron, and why we do utilize PEMF, but how Bioptron is first on the list for me and you, and for thousands of other practitioners out there, and the why? Would you do that?
Yeah. Let's start with Nikola Tesla, who was the first person to not only become electrohypersensitive, but also he was, being Tesla, figured out a way of actually getting himself healthy, because he almost died due to his exposure to electromagnetic energy fields. And he was literally going around the city of New York trying to heal people with a coil. Okay, and everyone is, well, not everyone, but I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with the Tesla coil. And so pulsating electromagnetic energy fields emits an electromagnetic energy that, let's put it this way. Everything that lives has a pulse. And so a lot of people are familiar with magnets, but they don't have a pulse. They have static electromagnetic energy. The moon is static electromagnetic energy, and it doesn't have a pulse like the Earth itself. And so the pulse is important, everything, including your heart. And if your heart gets into trouble, we're going to use electromagnetic energy to hopefully bring it back to life. So electromagnetic energy, as I said earlier, we can't exist without it for at least, 1 second. And but the profound thing about light is that it's not just electromagnetic. It has specific information that actually has the ability to take chaos in any form and bring it back to coherency. It's such an incredible tool. It's not the only tool, but hands down, if I only had one choice to purchase one technology, it would definitely be the Bioptron polarized and now hyperpolarized technology, no question.
Excellent. I've got another question for you. So can you explain to people what diffuse light is, and what the difference is between diffuse light and Bioptron vertically, linearly polarized light? Okay, can you do that? And Bioptron's hyperpolarized light. So can you kind of go slowly and break those down for people? It's just, I think people should know the difference between light.
Yeah, so, why can I not just, if I've got this diabetic ulcer that hasn't healed in 39 years, just go out in the sun? Sun's going to help it, but we're actually now facing the most extreme, toxic, challenging times in human history. And so we need to put the odds in our favor and utilize technology that's going to speed up that process. So indoor light, why can we not just use indoor light? Indoor light, for the most part, is called diffuse light, and it doesn't have these healing properties. What took us 115 years, 13 scientists, 5 Nobel Prizes, including the information from one Buckminster Fuller. So yeah, it's important to understand the right light, the wrong light. And I'll give you an example of the wrong light. the contact, what do they call it? The compact fluorescent light, CFL, which was actually being promoted by an environmentalist here in Canada. Probably the most extreme toxic form of light ever produced by man. And it was actually Tesla who invented the fluorescent light and said it was never meant for human environments. It was just a cheap way of lighting warehousing during wartime. Now, the problem with that light is that it has mercury, which is the second most extreme toxic element known to the universe. So why would we want to bring that into our homes and also into our environment? Makes no sense whatsoever. On top of that, the light has a characteristic which is called flicker, which actually helps with regards to depression and cancer and all of these other things. And again, it's a form of energy and information which is not conducive to the health of the cell or as the body as a whole, physically, mentally, etc. And so, yeah. And then on top of that, the form of light energy that it gives off is extremely harmful. And we have a lot of these fluorescent lights in places of work, schools, etc. So it's really important that people understand the difference and that there is a right and a wrong light when it comes to human or plant or, food, etc. If we want to have the healthiest conditions possible. Bioptron light, as I was saying earlier, it's polarized. So we're mimicking what we refer to as probably the holy grail in terms of how life began on this planet. Then we've got the fact that it's full spectrum, that it's coherent, that it's also, it actually includes the frequencies from 480 nanometer to 3,400 nanometer minus the UVA and UVB. Not to say that we don't need UVA and UVB, but we're taking out any potential of anyone doing harm to themselves. And so it's completely a safe unit, and that's what we want.
That's interesting. But Marcel, I have another question for you. Why does Bioptron use so many different lenses?
Well, each color has different information. And by that, I mean different measurable wave energy. And the different colors with different wave energy stimulate different responses in the human body. Now, of course, full spectrum lens has all 7 colors and is safe and beneficial to use for the different circumstances that you may have. And it's the most used lens that Bioptron has presently. Up until the full spectrum lens, I mean, all the things that have happened, the incredible healings that we've seen have all been just with this one lens. And now, of course, we have the hyperpolarized, which is going to, we know for a fact, take things to a whole different level. But as actually the Health Canada approved version of this technology comes with a full spectrum light. And because it actually has Health Canada approval, it will be that way until we can actually get Health Canada approval for the hyperpolarized lens as well. But I also want to mention that here's an example of how the company continues to go forward. These are actually the new lenses that they're coming out with, specific purposes. For instance, they have one for dentists. They have another one for specifically for strong UVA filter, one for general medical filter, another one for bacteria blue filter. And yeah, so these lenses are going to be more specific. Not everyone is going to have a need for them, but for those that do, such as dentists, it's going to be a welcome item.
And the other thing is that what people we did not mention here today is being an energy medicine device. This is the safest device on the market anywhere. Anybody can use this device. There is no danger with this device. We also want you to know that you are only 10 inches away from it, and you're looking right into this light to help to regenerate your eyes, your pineal gland, your thyroid, your brain, and also instantaneously, this light floods every cell in your human body, right down to your toes. That's how
We've actually had
powerful this is.
88-year-old with glaucoma go to her eye doctor, and her eye doctor said, look, I don't know what you're doing. Continue to do it because I don't need to see it for at least a year, and you now have 20/25 vision at 88. She also had a digestive disorder, which didn't allow her to leave her home at least until noon. And both those issues are gone. And at 88, she said, I'm now healthier than I've ever been. So, age is not a factor when it comes to this, the benefits of this technology.
Absolutely. Is there anything else that you would like to leave everybody with today?
Just that, people are starting to wake up to the fact that their most valuable asset in life is the quality of life, whether they're 4 or 84 years old. We don't know how long we're going to live, but we want the time that we do have to be of the highest quality, to be the best version of yourself. It's going to require that you look into light and have as we said earlier, be able to appreciate, have a better understanding so that you can utilize this technology for yourself, for your family, and for your community. And for those who may be in the Ottawa area, on October the 20th, I'm going to be at the Citizen Building doing a presentation called The Light Way to Live. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And I want everybody to know something. It's the best quality of life, so use the best quality of light. And understand this. Us at the Doc of Detox, okay, and the International Training Institute of Health, we will continue to deliver the best training, certifications, and the best products. And we will continue to give lifetime support to all our patients, whether it's on our docofdetoxshow.com, whether you call our office. Now understand something. This is a whole corporate takeover thing where they don't want you to call. We want you to call. You can't call us enough. You can't bother us. Do you understand? Every question that you have matters to us. It doesn't have to be about our products. It just needs to be something that matters to you, and we're there for you. And understand this. When you actually start using the Bioptron, we're going to make sure you're trained in it. We're going to give you the A to Z book on protocols. We're going to be there to answer your questions. And we're going to get you started too. We have something that's called Pure Light, and these are light bulbs for your home. We're going to throw in a Pure light bulb so that you can feel what the best full spectrum healing light for like your sockets or your fixtures feel like. This Pure Light will actually kill the Mersa bacteria in your home. It will get rid of viruses, bacteria, chemicals, okay? And it is the closest thing to nature's light. So guess what? That takes me to what we're going to talk about. In 2 weeks, October the 22nd, it will be with Dr. Marcel Wolff, and the beautiful Abby Michelle will be hosting, and they will be doing the show Light Up Your Home, Light Up Your Life, and they will be answering all your questions on Bioptron, but they're going to be talking about how you can light up your home and light up your life, okay? Listen to me. You matter to us. I want you to matter to you. I want you to become a priority. I want you to no longer say, I don't have the time and I don't have the money. I want you to say, listen, I have the time, I have the money, I'm going to do what I need to do to create the most healing, safest, most beautiful environment for myself and my family. Okay? So until we talk again, I want everybody to understand you are the light of your life. And when you get to know this, and when you understand that your beliefs, okay, will make and shape your life, then you need to understand you might need to change parts of your personality to change your reality. So go to docofdetoxlibrary.com, check out some of my emotional audios and my booklets, and you might even want to tip your toe into my Braveheart online training. But just know this, we are here for you. Our phone lines are open. This show was not a call-in, but all our shows are call-ins because this is your show. This is your life. Take it back. Take it personal. You can do this. Have a beautiful day.